Hi guys, so in my previous video we talked about the challenges of multinational companies leaving Nigeria. I want to thank every one of you who got involved in that conversation and gave your feedback. It is deeply encouraging to see that there are indeed people out here who are vested in the progress of Nigeria and our business climate. Now on today's video, I want to dive in a little bit deeper into this topic, and I want us to explore the opportunities that it in fact presents. Now, before I go any further, I want to make it very clear once again that these views are entirely my own and does not cast any aspersions to any of the companies or entities that I mention as examples in my videos, either directly or indirectly. These views are entirely and purely as a result of my understanding of the economic landscape in which I operate in. Now, back to what I was saying. The recent announcement by Diageo to exit the Nigerian market and sell its controlling share of Guinness Nigeria to the Singaporean conglomerate Toleran Group underscores a reality that we just need to face, and we need to address it. Toleran Group has been in Nigeria since 1975, primarily focusing on consumer goods. Their long-standing presence and success in Nigeria raise important questions, at least for me. What gives Toleran the confidence to buy Diego's share of Guinness Nigeria with the market as bad as it is currently? What does Toleran know about the business viability in Nigeria that the majority of our locals do not? Toleran's recent statement said the following: the Nigerian situation will correct, and when that happens, we will be the biggest beneficiaries. Now, this shows their deep understanding of the local market. How is it that this company is able to succeed in what many describe as a chaotic, politically unstable landscape, while we, the locals, are left wanting? We need to study their business model and strategies and indeed take notes. In the past 5 years, 60 multinationals have exited Nigeria, leading to an estimated revenue loss of 94 trillion naira. Now, this affects the already dire unemployment situation in Nigeria, and also it affects the entire value chain connected to these multinationals. However, focusing solely on multinationals as a solution to our problems is a big mistake. We need to see this as an opportunity to address the gaps in our approach and build our local capacity. Nigeria's economy is highly dependent on foreign direct investment. I don't think I need to tell you guys that. And we are not focused enough on gathering and facilitating investments in-house. We forget that whatever profits multinationals yield must still go back to their own countries and, in effect, leave in Nigeria. This will only continue to convert our naira into foreign exchange and lead it out of the country, further weakening our currency. What I'm proposing is that Nigerians begin to take the leap of faith in industrialization. That's what this conversation is about. By the government facilitating affordable loans for industrialists and giving the necessary tax breaks to those who are brave enough to do the work. Now, for example, President Bola Tinubu just recently signed a zero tax on pharmaceutical input. This will highly promote pharma manufacturing in Nigeria. We should commend this administration or those indeed at the helm of this work for that very action. It is a big deal for the pharma industry. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not necessarily saying that this government has remedied all our problems, at least not yet, but moves like this will surely promote industrialization. So we must push for them to execute with precision on this new policy and do the same across all other sectors. This is the very step that our government should continue to emulate long term, and Nigerians must also take advantage of it. Now, let me break this down. If we have zero tax on pharma inputs, it stimulates these companies to manufacture more. It reduces the cost of drugs for the consumer, and it makes the general healthcare system more accessible to the common man. Take, for example, when GSK, GlaxoSmithKline, left Nigeria, the single cost of an inhaler for an asthmatic person shot from 1,500 naira to 9,000 naira. Several asthmatics were left stranded and dying from asthmatic attacks. JSK has been in Nigeria for 51 years. Are you telling me that we were not able to transfer those skills in 51 years? We were not able to learn anything from this company in 51 years? People's lives depend on access to inhalers. This never would have happened if a Nigerian company had taken the leap of faith and had invested in manufacturing those products within Nigeria, leveraging off the knowledge and the R&D generated by this company over 51 years. The simple truth is that our people should not perish every time a company decides to leave our shores. At their peak, multinational companies accounted for a substantial portion of China's industrial output, both export and employment. For instance, they produced 57% of all exports from China in 2004 and employed millions of people. However, the market share of multinationals in China has been declining over the past decades. From 2006 to 2020, their share of all revenues earned in China dropped from 16% to 10%. This was not by mistake, guys. It was always by design. Many are arguing that multinationals are here to make profit. Of course, that's the nature of business. However, see the state of affairs. What have we shown for multinationals who have generated profit for 100 years in Nigeria? That question is for us, not the multinationals themselves. It seems to me that we were probably too busy being grateful rather than focusing on long-term strategies that would ensure the investment was put to work. We continue being grateful for a system that continues to benefit a set few and facilitates or continues to decentralize most of the population by weakening our economy and taking away our birthright. We continue to idolize anything foreign over our own. The exit of major firms like Procter & Gamble, JSK, and others in recent years has only highlighted the vulnerabilities. Is it not time we address the elephant in the room? In fact, we are now at the point where we have no choice. The giant of Africa is losing its position. It's time to focus with all intentionality on creating opportunities for more indigenous companies to thrive. It's time to provide what they need to do the work. Yes, we have the likes of Dangote, Boa, and flour mills, but in a nation of 300 million people, they are not enough. We need more local companies positioned to play alongside the multinationals brave enough to come here. By making the business landscape conducive for ourselves, we can ensure that many multinationals stay and continue to contribute to our long-term plans of self-dependency. Empowering small-scale manufacturing companies is crucial. The business models that many of these multinationals were operating are no longer working. This, for me, is the biggest sign that the tides are indeed changing. Now, our argument isn't against multinationals or FDIs or their investments. In fact, we should welcome them with open arms, but on our own well-thought-out terms that benefits Nigerians first and foremost, long-term. We need better policies and a government that creates a conducive environment and enforces strategies that benefits locals first, then multinationals. By doing so, we can create an environment that encourages significant investment from both local and international sources. We should not need multinationals to believe in before we realize that we are indeed playing a losing game. Toleran Group started as a small textile company in 1948. Wherever we are in our businesses, there is capacity to do it on a larger scale if we are empowered. It is time for Nigerians to get to work and build a new business model that focuses on indigenous solutions, local ideas, local people, local R&D, strategic partnerships, leadership that loves its people enough to empower them. But most importantly, those of you behind the screen watching this, it's also time for you two to also get to work. Yes, it is sad that multinationals are leaving, but there's a bigger lesson here. Multinationals were never the solution. Multinationals were never enough. What are your thoughts, guys? Super excited to hear back from you.